Today is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of the 40 days of Lent, a season of prayer and fasting, a time of discernment and self-reflection. Traditionally, Christians have used this time of the liturgical year to give up something they enjoy, like chocolate or French fries or beer or Facebook, in order to make room for prayer and other acts of devotion. The magazine Good Housekeeping had an article last month suggesting 25 creative things to give up for Lent in 2021. Number 5 was bad posture. Okay, Good Housekeeping, thank you, but next time, please leave the Lenten ideas to the professionals. Like the prophet Isaiah, who asks us today, why do we fast, but you do not see? Why humble ourselves, but you do not notice? Isaiah is prophesying that God, frankly, would like to give up listening to empty prayers for Lent. God is fed up with pious observations, self-serving religiosity, chocolate and French fry fasts. Why? Well, because the nation is still bound and shackled by the bonds of injustice, strapped to heavy burdens, suffering multiple pandemics, none of which we'd currently be suffering to the degree that we are if any of our previous Lents had done much good. What good is rectifying bad posture when outrageous injustices stare back at us from every direction, Isaiah asks. The past year has laid bare the pathological inequities of our time. God wants to know what good our fasting is going to do about it. Isn't this the fast that I choose, God asks? To loose the bonds of injustice, to undo the thongs on the yoke, to let the oppressed go free. Go on down the road with giving up junk food or coffee or negativity. Here's the fast that I choose: to pay your employees, to share your bread with the hungry, to bring the homeless poor into your own house, to cover the naked, to pay attention to your neighbors. We've had more than our share of giving up precious things at this point in the pandemic. What good would come from depriving ourselves from chocolate or wine or screen time for 40 more days? Is this the fast that we choose, really? Is this the fast God desires? I laughed a couple of years ago when I asked another pastor what he was giving up for Lent. He said, I've renounced self-renunciation. Isaiah prophesies a fasting that sabotages injustice, attends the plight of oppressed workers, prepares the guest room, and offers ministries of relief. God's concern is to repair the devastations of many generations in these concrete ways. The imposition of ashes, then, is not so much an invitation to inconsequential fasting, but a clarion call and charge to be, as God says through Isaiah, restorers of streets to live in. What an exciting and even joyful time this Lent can be for us. If we spend the next 40 days working on something other than bad posture, and instead pay closer attention to God's dream of repairing the breaches in our own city, our own neighborhoods, our own homes, our own hearts. Call it good housekeeping. Then we shall call and the Lord will answer. We shall cry for help and the Lord will say, here I am.